Hey, welcome back to the subscribers out there, and if you're new to this channel, it's great to see you. Here we're all kinds of hair nerds focusing on learning the styles from TV shows and movies, as well as some historical hairstyles, and that's what this video is going to be about today. I've already made a video discussing the real hairstyles of ancient male warriors, such as the Vikings, but Viking women had really interesting hair as well. We don't have a ton of evidence about the prevalence of female Viking warriors, let alone how their hair looked, but women in more domestic roles also wore their hair in interesting ways, and we do have evidence of that. We know this from the art they left behind, as well as some bog bodies that have been found in Northern Europe. And like my last video, I'll be showing some pictures of those bodies, so be forewarned about that. Now if you're ready, let's learn how to do some Viking braids. The real ones.
Let's start with the easy style first. In essence, it's just a knot tied into the hair. Historians called this shape the Irish ribbon knot. When women are depicted in Viking art, they almost always have this hairstyle. There may be a few different reasons for why this is. Perhaps it was extremely fashionable at a certain period of time. Alternatively, this knot shape may not have been worn every day by everyone, but instead was an iconic ceremonial hairstyle, like the stereotypical double-horned Viking helmet was. Another option is that these depictions are not supposed to be everyday women, but recognizable Valkyries or specific female deities. Even more abstract, these hairstyles could be entirely symbolic, as knots may symbolize the binding effect of magic or the eternal aspect of love in Viking culture. At any rate, it's not a hard style to do, so who wouldn't want to at least try it out? I'm going to show you the low ponytail version of this first, but it could also be made higher up on the head. First, gather all your hair into a low ponytail and hold it together with one hand. Then wrap the tail of hair over the back of this hand so that you make a loop in the hair. Stick 2 fingers of your other hand through the loop coming from the opposite side and grab the rest of the tail of hair between these fingers. Then pull the tail through the loop. Tug this knot tight against your head. And that's really all there is to it. This knot probably won't hold all day, especially if you have straight or slippery hair, but it'll keep your hair out of your face for a while. Thinner and curlier hair will last longer in this knot. If you want more lasting power, you can put an extra twist in the loop of hair before pulling the tail through the hole. You'll just need longer hair for this, at least halfway down your back. This is the same knot hairstyle that I showed in my easy hair stick bun tutorial, which means you can also use a hair stick to hold this knot tight. Hair sticks are not uncommon finds in Viking archaeological digs, so this would still be historically accurate, if not completely matching the carved iconography. You can also make the knot higher on the head as well, as early episodes of the Vikings TV show feature Siggy's hair done in this way. Just be warned that gravity applies to hairstyles. If the knot is up high and not resting its weight completely on the top of your head, then the weight will pull it slowly down the back of your head and fall out quicker. Now let's move to some more direct inspiration for Viking women's hairstyles. Meet the Arden woman, or at least the back of her head. Also known as the Bredmose woman, this is a bog body that was found in Hinsted, Denmark. Her body has been dated to around 1400 BCE, which is definitely before the official Viking Age, but would be a cultural ancestor of the Viking peoples. So let's try out this crown braid style. First, divide your hair into 2 low pigtails. Cut 2 lengths of rough cord that is 2 to 3 times the length of your hair. Coarse wool yarn or suede is ideal. We want this to have friction and not slip off the hair easily. With each length of cord, tie the middle around each ponytail and knot it tightly. Then braid each ponytail in a 3-strand braid pattern. Clip the ends of the braids or hold them in your mouth momentarily while you wrap the long ends of the cord around the braid. Wrap all the way to the ends of the braid, and then tie off the braid with these ends. So instead of using a modern day ponytail holder, you're essentially just tying off the ends of the braids with a couple knots using this cord. Do this with both ponytails. Next, wrap the braids up the sides of your head and over the top. If your hair is long, keep wrapping the braids in a circle formation at the back of the head. If your hair is shorter and can't reach all the way to the top of your head, make a smaller circle at the back of your head. You just want the ends of the braid to at least be crossing a bit. With a hair clip or hair stick, if you're a stickler for accuracy, hold these braids in place momentarily. Then with a large knitting needle and a third length of cord that's roughly 3 feet long, sew these braids to your hair. Stretch the middle of the cord across the lower back of your head and sew each of these ends through the braid as well as some hair near your scalp. Sew like this all along the braid until you almost run out of cord. Sew the other length of cord up the braid on the other side of your head as well. This is called hair taping and is actually a very comfortable way to secure braids in place on your head if you don't like pins, and is very common throughout history. When you have just a little bit of length left in the ends of these cords, either tuck them in under the braid to finish or tie them together if they can reach each other. Tuck any extra length of the cord under your braids, and you're set with this ancient crown braid hairstyle. Finally, let's do the famous Elling woman. Another bog body found in Denmark, she is also technically pre-Viking age, dating to around 280 BCE. But again, this is the same people that eventually became the Vikings. Viking really isn't even an ethnic descriptor anyways, as the verb Vikingur or Vikingur means to voyage. Anyways, the Elling woman's body is famous for how long and well preserved her hair is, all 90 centimeters of it. So let's try out this style. First, place your fingers right above your ears and draw a part on either side of your head up to your crown. Gather all the hair in front of this part. Make a 3-strand braid with this hair, holding the braid close to the back of your head as you form it. When your hands get down to the same height as your back hairline, add in the rest of your hair to this braid. In other words, start doing a French braid, but only add in new hair to each strand once, and make sure all the rest of your hair is added in when you do so. After this, keep braiding normally all the way to the ends of your hair. There is no hair tie on the end of this braid, so to keep it from completely falling out, the braid is wrapped up a bit on the head. First, tuck the tail of the braid behind the length that stretches between the point where it started and the point where you added in new hair. Pull the tail of the braid out the other side, and then wrap it once more around this base braid, pulling it out the other side again. You can now let go of the length of braid. The strands may unravel a bit, but the wrapping should keep the general form of the style in place. This is how the Elling woman was found. But it's also possible that on her last morning, her braid was completely wrapped up in order to make a bun, and in the events leading to her death and burial, the braid unwound itself a bit. It's impossible to say definitively. Her death was pretty violent though. She was hung as a possible human sacrifice, and then driven into the bog with stakes. So one might expect some jostling of her hair. So if you don't like the hanging part of the braid, you can wrap it up all the way and have a feasible excuse for doing so. And there you have it! 3 ancient women's hairstyles that help you imagine what the real Viking woman would have looked like. I want to thank my subscribers, and especially my Patreon supporters, for making this video possible. You can subscribe as well for new video updates, or become a patron and get extra perks like deciding what future videos should be or personalized tutorial requests. You guys are awesome, and I hope you have fun with these historical hair looks. See you next time!